All right, so one of the things that you all have done is you have all of this evidence, right? So let's just take these two pieces of evidence, right? So I have two pieces of evidence here. One is Mr. Newsom, a longtime opponent of capital punishment, cited its high cost, racial disparities, its application, and wrongful convictions, and questioned whether society has the right to take a life. Then I have this one. In 2018, the United States executed 25 people and over 2,700 prisoners remain on death row. It is one of the only 56 nations in the world that still practice capital punishment. If I was to rank this and ask you which one is better, what would you say? And I think I would say the bottom one. Why? Because it's statistics. It's stuff that is evidence that I can then explain, whereas the top one is simply an explanation. I want to avoid explanations, right? That is just repeating what I want to say in some sense. So I don't want to just simply repeat what people are saying or quote explanations. I want to use this evidence and then I want to follow this. I start with a clear main idea. I provide some context. I source my information and I analyze, explain, interpret, argue, show, right? And then I can connect, transition to next main idea. So what does that look like? Let's go here, right? Here, I start with my main idea. One of the biggest issues around the death penalty is just the sheer number of people in the United States has both on death row and executes every year, right? So I start with my main idea that this is too high, right? I then add context, and notice I think use sort of language deliberately, charges full steam ahead, right? How can we do that? Then I have my quote. That's the same thing up here. My source, remember my period comes after my parentheses, author and year, right? And now look what happens. The rest of this, right, is explaining, right? This big chunk here, I am explaining all of this. What are my thoughts, right? What do I think? Then I go to a conclusion. One wonders what oral ethical authority the United States can profess. The United States government routinely executes its citizens. And this is where we have conclusions throughout the paper. Now I have a nice transition, right? Not only is the high number of executions somewhat preposterous, of the 2,700 people on death row, more than half of the condemned inmates are people of color. So now I have the next main idea, but notice this, right? Subordinate clause, right? Not only is the high number of executions somewhat preposterous, right? And then I'm going on to my next main idea. Subordinate clauses are great bridges from one paragraph to the next.